Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Finally, the long-awaited Tears of the Kingdom is here, and guys, it's amazing. From caves to sky islands, this game is packed to the brim with things to do and places to see. New mechanics and abilities are introduced for new ways to traverse this expansive world. First thing I must address is that this video is going to be my first impressions. I've played quite a bit of Tears of the Kingdom so far, and yet I've barely scratched the surface on the game. But for this video, I will be focusing on the first couple of hours of the game. The footage you see will be over the Sky Islands at the beginning of the game that act as a tutorial similar to Breath of the Wild's Great Plateau. I will not be discussing any story elements, but I will be talking about and showing off gameplay at the beginning of the game. So if you want to go in completely blind, then watch this video later. Eventually I want to make a full-blown review for the game, but that will take some time. I could rush and complete the game, but that is not how I want to experience this game. So be sure to stay tuned for more on Tears of the Kingdom, but for now, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Now, without further ado, let's dive right in. Shrines are back, and they act very similar to Sheikah shrines in Breath of the Wild. You go in, complete a puzzle or task, and get an orb for all your troubles. Of course, this time around, Link is equipped with a new set of abilities, and each one offers new ways of interacting with the environment. First up is the Ultra Hand ability. Cleverly named after an old Nintendo toy, this ability is arguably the most versatile ability in the game. You can manipulate objects in the environment and build some of the most wacky creations. If there's a big body of water you need to go across, then you can just build a boat with a sail or with fans to get across. Do you need to travel on rails to get to a destination? Then attach a minecart to a fan and you are set. The creativity is what makes this game what it is. Just like in Breath of the Wild with its abilities, these brand new abilities really shake things up and makes you think differently about how you go about this game. Players will find themselves building almost anything they can imagine to complete the objective at hand. The next crucial ability is Fuse. Fuse is pretty straightforward in concept. You fuse your weapons with objects in your environment to create new powerful ones. It takes some getting used to at first, as you are encouraged to make the combinations that best suits you. You can even make weapons more durable this way, which is a huge controversial topic in Breath of the Wild. Now don't get me wrong, weapons still break, but they will break less often, which is so nice. You can also fuse things to your shield and give it cool enhancements. Arrows may also be fused with materials, and this is a game changer. There are some fun combinations you can do, and it really gives you more creativity in how you approach combat. Next ability is Ascend. Ascend is kind of situational, but in no way does that make it a bad ability. In fact, it is such a fun ability. It is one of the weirdest traversal mechanics I've ever seen in a game, and I love it. This ability is just fun to pull off. Having Link swim through mountains like a Zora swimming up a waterfall never gets old. This is an ability that I actually use quite often, as caves are all over Hyrule and Ascend is just the easiest way to get out of them. Next up is the Recall ability. This ability is used to revert time, and man, what a fascinating concept. This ability is arguably as situational as Ascend, in my opinion, but the puzzles that involve this mechanic are some of my favorites. It's an ability that is way cooler than I give it credit for. It is one of those abilities that can help you in a pinch and is used in some of the most creative ways. Let's talk about the design of the Sky Islands, or at least the one at the beginning of the game, and maybe some others. Like I said before, I don't want to talk too much about the surface of Hyrule. The only thing that I'll say is that this Hyrule has changed quite significantly, and finding out what all is different about it is just as exciting as I was hoping it would be. The Sky Islands, on the other hand, is all new environment, baby. The Sky Islands are filled with puzzles, shrines, and material for you to find. One of the downsides I found out was that some of the layouts can repeat, but then again you find some unique ones that catch your eye, and it's up to you to get to that island. When you start the game, you play on a big assortment of sky islands called the Great Sky Island. This is basically your Great Plateau from Breath of the Wild. This is where you get a feel for the game's new systems and mechanics. It is massive. It's probably bigger than the Great Plateau itself. So much so that it can be a bit overwhelming for new players, but man is it a treat to explore. You will encounter different biomes and caves. Caves are something new to explore in Tears of the Kingdom. In Breath of the Wild, you mostly have holes and mountains, but calling them caves was a bit of a stretch. Caves are much more involved and littered with new things to collect. That and caves are just interesting to go through, as each of them have a different feel to them. Some are small and some are huge, and they are packed with enemies and resources. There is one aspect of the Sky Islands I was not expecting to enjoy as much, and that is traveling from one island to another. There are different ways you can get from one place to another, and there is no wrong way to do it. Well, except for this. Crafting the perfect vehicle is key, or at least one that is semi-functional. It may come as a shock to you, but I am not an engineer. Most of these vehicles have many safety violations and are not fit for safe travel, but they get the job done, and that is the beauty of this game. The music is phenomenal, as you would expect. It's very similar to Breath of the Wild in that it's very subdued. There are pieces that are reused in familiar places of Hyrule, but thankfully you have new arranged ambient tunes throughout the overworld for both Sky and the land below. There is more I want to get into with the music, but rest assured, there are new pieces for your ears in Tears of the Kingdom, and they are amazing. Overall, I am having a blast with Tears of the Kingdom. It is set in the same Hyrule, which is a bit of a shame, but a lot has changed with the environment, and with the introduction of Sky Islands, there are brand new areas to explore, and these new powers that Link has are amongst the most versatile abilities that Nintendo could make for this game. That's not to say that Hyrule has completely changed. There are still some familiar areas, and there is points in my playthrough, and again, I'm not done with the game, and I'm not even close to done with the game, but there are some times where I'm like, okay, this feels a bit too familiar, let's see some new things. And then I would find something interesting again, and I'll be like, okay, this is not Breath of the Wild. So it really just depends, and I would personally play this at a very slow pace. Don't rush it, just take this game in. And trust me, there are plenty of new elements to be found and to be had in Tears of the Kingdom. I will also say that the Ultra Hand, while it's really cool and I really enjoy using it, the controls can be a little wonky at first. In fact, they can just be a little wonky in general, which isn't like a huge deal or anything. Like, it's not a game breaker or anything like that. It's just a little nitpick. I think they did all that they could to make the game control as well as it does. I can't really think of any other improvements to add on to the Ultra Hand. They already have a reset button, which is really nice. Twisting and turning the object feels good, even though it can still be a little wonky, but that's kind of how the game is. But yeah, those are just some nitpicks in this amazing game, and I'm excited to check out the rest of this game. I'm still discovering new things, and I hope you're enjoying this game as well. Like I said at the beginning, it will take me some time to play through the game at my own pace, and because of that, the review will take a while. Tears of the Kingdom is not a game you want to rush. It is so far an amazing game with little to complain about. If you like Breath of the Wild, then Tears of the Kingdom will scratch that itch for adventure. Let me know down in the comments below if you've tried Tears of the Kingdom yet, and if you have, let me know what you think about the game. And be sure not to spoil anything down in the comments for other people, and myself included. But still, let me know what you think about the game so far in your playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom, or if you're planning on getting it later down the road. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. God bless.